Introducing. Hi, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of Core Services Engineering Talks to our customers. We're Core Services Engineering. We're the internal IT organization at Microsoft, sometimes also called MSIT. This team provides the collaboration services to our internal employees. Now, I will say, because this kind of came up in the first one, we don't always know the product roadmaps, and so that's not something we may be able to answer. But certainly, there's a lot of work we do to deploy things early, and you can learn from our experiences. We can share where we went right, where we went wrong, and hopefully make your deployment so much easier. So in brief, our team today is...
Hi, I'm Anne Marie, and I oversee OneDrive for Business.
I'm Sarah Bush, and I oversee adoption and Teams templatization and apps.
Hi, I'm Eileen, work on Teams, analytics, and engineering persona.
I'm Frank D'Elia. I work on Exchange, some Microsoft Teams, and Yammer.
And I'm Sam Crutzen. I focus most of my time on SharePoint and some of the underlying services in Office 365. So that includes search, by the way. So with that, first question right here, it looks like. Please go ahead.
Okay, so in the old days with SharePoint, what we used to do is we used to govern the site structures and we applied certain rules. So for example, if you had a community of practice, we will keep it and keep it even in inactivity for like 2 years because it might resurface again. Communities of interest, we had to clean up project sites. When the project finishes, within 2 months, you had to move your content to the right locations.
Right.
That cleaning up and keeping things relevant and getting content to where it should be, especially in cases where a team just flared up and the team ran its purpose and now it's finished.
Right.
How do you govern, or not govern that, but how do you ensure that it happens, that you don't sit 5 years, 10 years down the line after I've retired and the next guy walked in and it's his problem, cleaning it up, getting the content to where it should be?
Right, I'll start and then anyone else can jump in. So the first part of that answer is we have a governance program in place to manage SharePoint sites, groups, etc. And our PM Katja is here, and you can talk to her during, after our session's done if you have more questions. So the short answer from a policy perspective is our legal wants us to keep things for as short an amount of time as possible. They want us to get rid of old content because then it's not subject to e-discovery. And so there's a good reason for us to get rid of content as soon as possible. Now that said, there is some stuff that we have to keep for an extended period of time. And that's where the various tools, like we have a custom tool that we use to manage our classic SharePoint and our non-group connected SharePoint. And of course there's lifecycle management built into Azure Active Directory for groups. And so between those two, that's a thumbnail of what we do. Does anyone want to add any more? Or
I was just going to add that where we know content needs to be kept, it often gets promoted to another source, like a longer-lived portal or a specific knowledge repository for a technical team or something like that. So the most valuable content we say is going to get sort of recreated or reset into those kinds of channels, and then the transactional content that got it started, whatever, that can get cleaned away through the lifecycle management. And the other piece I was going to say is we also make it the responsibility of the teams, the people who own those sets of content, those teams, those groups, those SharePoint sites. It's up to them to decide, hey, it's worth keeping, because they're on the hook and getting reminded every 6 months that they still own it. If they stop signing up for that, then again, it goes away.
So here I'm Katja. That's a good point. We usually hold our owners accountable for the content. But for content that we have to keep, for example, contracts, we have retention policies enabled. And especially contracts now, we are evaluating to expand with our legal retention policies internally. For now, we are just applying for some type of content, but we want to expand, and we are evaluating with legal how to do that.
Great. Good question. All right.
I have a question about live events in Yammer. So we have Yammer, and I've been thinking about doing a live event, but I'm concerned that if this is like a large Yammer group, like over 10,000 people in the Yammer group, so I'm worried that if I do the live event, it'll be too many people watching it. And so what's your recommendation on like governance for live events?
you want to take that one, Frank?
Yeah, good question. We do live events of that scale on a fairly routine basis. So, for example, our CEO does a broadcast to all employees once a month, and so we see that happening. Those are carried via Yammer as well as directly through Stream. One can sort of watch them in either place. So we see that working well. However, the caveat is, and this will be true with any video streaming anywhere at that scale, is it really depends on the integrity of the network. So you do have to do some planning to ensure that depending on where your users are, what technology they're using, even device specifically, what kind of bit rates they're pulling in based on how they're watching, that your network can accommodate that. We've actually deployed some capabilities internally that help to improve the distribution of streams like that using peering technology. So there's some options, but if you don't plan for it, I've seen it not necessarily go very well.
And go ahead, Sam.
So one of the things we've been doing is playing catch up. Is it on?
Yep. Hey everyone. So my name's Sam, and I'm the PM for live events internally at Microsoft. And to answer your question, the 10,000 limit is a supported limit in terms of the amount of users. Now, we do have live events where that scales above 10,000 fairly often. That is a soft limit in that state. Now, anything that goes past 10,000 is what we call unsupported in that method. But we do have a lot of processes in play for those scenarios. And as Frank mentioned as well, we partner with ECDN provider as well to make sure that our peering between the users internally creates a better experience for all the users who are actually viewing the event itself. But in terms of the governance portion, I think Frank covered that pretty well.
And that's Sam, our PM, that oversees that feature. So if you have any other questions, talk to him after the session's over.
Great.
And we're going to go over here, please, to the next question.
So we're still playing catch up.
Talk closer.
Oh, we're still playing catch up on the administration of Teams and Office 365. We've been up for a little over a year and a half.
Okay.
And one of the things we're struggling with is managing Teams, which we threw out. We did exactly what everybody's been telling us we shouldn't have done. Threw it out there and let everybody play with it. And so now when people exit, we're having a really difficult time trying to, from the admin portal, figure out who were the owners. Oh, there was only one owner, and now the team is unowned. And so, is that, we haven't been able to find a way to really manage that.
Great. Do you want to, someone in the team space want to?
Yeah, it's a good point. Actually, when we launched, we also launched to everybody and said, hey, just go play with it. And we, had a lot of teams show up. Fortunately, we do have that governance in place. It says, now 2 owners, 6 months, certify that you still need this. But we did have to go back and do some of that cleanup. So if you need, detailed guidance on how to go back and do that cleanup, we can definitely help you understand how to do that as an administrator. And also, I would say, immediately assign policy from here forward. Because I want to point out that it was important that we didn't shut it down. We saw a lot of, they were learning, right? They didn't know what they needed yet. Now they know, and now they know how to use it better. So it's a matter of setting policy going forward and going back and just doing a bit of cleanup. We can help.
And Katya, too, who's right here, can answer questions on group policy framework as well. She's involved with the governance space.
Great. Thank you. All right, over here.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, over here, I'm sorry.
Oh,
can you hear me now? Okay, great. So, you guys are on the front lines for a lot of these collaboration tools going out within Microsoft, and you probably get all the preview features and things like that before they're generally available. How much do you guys have to push and advertise and get users to adopt the new features and how much of it is sort of it just gets built and they see it and use it, and because it's a problem for us, but it's probably amplified for you. And I'm curious how you internally get people to use all the great things that are available to them.
Right, I'll start, and then maybe Sarah can continue. So the truthful answer, since we're all friends here, is that it really kind of depends on the part of the suite that it's in. So you're right to say that at Microsoft we literally have features and changes rolling into our environment on a daily basis. Thanks to the magic of the cloud, that we're no longer geared around these major release cycles like a service pack or a new version. And so we see new code rolling in all the time. And so it really depends on what part of the suite it's in. So in the highly managed areas of the suite, Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, that's where we work with our product team partners to be aware of those new features coming in. And then we might take on an adoption program to encourage use, to promote use, or find someone who matches the scenario that the feature is intended for. So Sarah, do you want to add?
Yeah, absolutely. There are, I think, two kind of key pivots. One is the adopter type. So we've got our early adopters, and we have groups across the stack that are part of what we call our elite program. So those people are out there looking for this stuff. They're hungry for this stuff. And then there's, the people that are, more used to having this smooth day, right? So they need a little bit more information about transition. The other thing is, it also depends on what the application is coming out with, because some things people are waiting for all the way through the company, or we really want this, or we've messaged that it's coming. Other things are a little bit more obscure, and I'll tell you, through our Champions program, which has been amazing, they get out the word about what's coming, what can be done. I'm thinking of immediately one champion who literally 30-second video every single Friday to a distribution group that signs up for it that says, new feature you didn't know about. And it takes me 30 seconds to watch it. It's great. So it just depends on those two pivots, I think.
Good question. All right, right up front here.
I have a lot of Cisco video endpoints, and I heard that Microsoft Teams will work with those Cisco endpoints now. Can you elaborate on how, technology-wise, when will it be available, and where? On-prem or cloud only?
So I can answer that. So you're talking about like a CVI gateway in between the two services, between the Cisco devices that you have in your rooms, as well with Teams?
We have a video estate, PCS, Expressways, CMS.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's work being done by a couple of our partners that are helping bridge that gap in between the two services. So the actual room system itself, so such as like your Cisco telepresence or that matter. We have plenty of partners in the area as well, like Blue Jeans, PegZip, Poly, that have services that actually help bridge those gaps to where users can actually join a Teams meeting from the actual Cisco device in your room.
Great. And
Used by infrastructure in my data center, like the PCS Expressway.
I know that Cisco's doing some work as well to actually help bridge that gap just between Cisco and Microsoft. There was actually a demo earlier today in regards to WebEx being able to join Teams meetings and vice versa in between the two. But in terms of your actual hard on-prem infrastructure, I'm not 100% certain on, but I can follow up on that.
yeah, so maybe talk after the break. It sounds like there might be a good discussion to be had here where Sam can connect you with some partners or internal resources. So good question. Over here it looks like.
Hello, can you guys, yes, you can hear me. So a little bit of a different kind of question is, my experience is that people are afraid to talk out loud in channels, and that people are afraid to like somebody else's document, and if they don't do their profile pictures, and they don't turn on their webcams, and there's like a human element, there's a cultural element, there's a comfort level, there's resistance. What is that within the realm of your roles? Or is there someone else that's doing that? Is there an organizational development? I mean, what do you do so that people, I know that Microsoft communicates a lot about diversity and inclusion, so I see a tie in there, but what other things?
Yeah, absolutely. It is in the realm of our role, and it's what I've been spending the last 18 months of my life doing, talking about the fact that moving to Teams is not just a new tool. It's a literal change in the way we work. It's working out loud. It's working transparently. And, we are many different generations and we have different things that we enjoy doing and, different ways of working. So what I've found again and again through training, again through the champions, through discussions, through white glove onboarding of organizations is bringing people the WIFM, what's in it for me. And so when we settle down and we say, okay, we all know this is a new way of working, we all know it can be a little bit scary, but here's what you get out of it. Here's what you can do. And there's literal data that shows, healthy teamwork data, that shows what happens when you make that transition, to your productivity, to your output, for your company. So it's really digging in and making that tie for them about why, if I turn on my camera, I do a channel message, what's the result going to be for me? It takes the people touch.
Yeah, I just want to add on to it. We have an early session today talk about healthy teamwork. It is like a human nature, like want to understand if you tell me it is working, show me in the real world case who get benefit from it. When we review our usage across different organizations internally, we see some organizations really have very high channel usage versus some very low. So we let them really talk like, I have this best practice, why I can use it. So another team, so wow, I didn't know that. So based on this, actually internal user really can share their best practice. Not necessarily mean it can be 100% taken, but just open the mind to really say, oh, I can see it in a different way.
Great. All right, good question. All right, over here, please.
Hi. Aside from the lack of ability to move on OneDrive for Business from folder redirection over to OneDrive directly, that was our number one problem. Our number two problem is OneNote. Doesn't like it, doesn't sync it. What can you share about what you're working on maybe with OneNote and OneDrive?
So you should see that being fixed relatively soon. So that fix just got released within Microsoft. So as far as seeing that, I can't give you an exact time frame. I can connect you to someone who will from the product team, but you should be seeing that soon.
Great. Good question. All right, right here in front.
Hello. Yeah, my question's around streams that are stored. What does that count against your SharePoint storage? Is that some other storage? Is there a limit to it?
I'm going to look at Frank. Do you happen to know, Frank? We don't have the streams PM here with us today.
It's not stored in SharePoint, so it wouldn't be should not be part of your SharePoint storage. But we should double check because I'm not sure exactly how that gets counted or.
Hit me up during the break. I will get an answer for you. Okay, I'll tell you how to contact me, and I'll find out what the answer is because I don't know.
Sure.
All right. Maybe right over here. Or.
Hot potato.
Okay, so last question from me is on security. We've got vast 150 teams with external people. So it's external to our organization, and externally it can range from 5 upwards to 250 users. Now, we don't want to do that security group administration necessarily in our internal environment because it places a huge burden on us because we don't know the people necessarily when they leave, when they join. What are the future developments? Because over the last 2 days, I realized there's no quick answer for that one. But is there any future roadmap where in the B2B space, specifically regarding Microsoft Teams, there's going to be something happening with Office 365 groups or that external organization that is party to you through an allowed domain can control their own security?
So for our users who are guests within our tenant, that's the case within your tenant, yeah. So I think that you might know more, Sam, about the expiration or lifecycle management. That's where I was going to go.
Yeah, so we've got the expiration. Yeah, that's something we announced at Ignite is the way to expire a user out of your tenant. That could be part of the solution. Now, I think more keen to your situation is something that we face as well. So for example, our Xbox division hires thousands of support agents and they staff up at the holidays, and those are external companies and they want to get access to internal resources. And so how do we, there's an expectation that we know and maintain and add those users on a per user basis. Same problem. So the short answer is we feel your pain. We have the same challenge. I will generically say that I'm aware that the product team knows about this particular pain, and it won't be a pain forever. It's high in the user voice. It's something they hear from us regularly, and I am aware but can't talk about that they want to solve this situation, but no timelines to share. All right, and we're just about out of time. Maybe time for one more, and then for you, sir, we'll be here after the break. We'll stay, and we'll answer your question as well. We don't want to leave you hanging. So one more over here, please.
Thank you. So we have about 3,000 sites, SharePoint sites on-prem, and we're trying to migrate all that stuff. So we are going to go to SharePoint Online. How do you differentiate between a pure SharePoint Online site and team? That's question number one. And question number two, if I may, how do you build a nice information architecture in team? With SharePoint Online, you have the concept of hub site that you don't have on Teams,
So how do you I think there's a few different questions. I think I heard it's kind of noisy, so forgive me if I get it wrong. So the first one is how you differentiate between the different site types?
Yeah, so if you take a SharePoint on-prem site and you say, okay, we need to move to the cloud.
Right.
Should we go to a pure SharePoint Online site? Could be a team site or not?
Right.
Or should we actually move the information inside the on-prem site to actually Microsoft Team, knowing that Team will be linked to a SharePoint site also?
Okay, tell you what, I'm going to answer your question generically for the audience, and then let's talk after for some specifics. So when we did our own migration almost a decade ago now, our approach was sort of generically, number one, for OneDrives, for example, we didn't even migrate. We forced the user to make their own determination of what's important and self-migrate their content. That's not for everyone, but that was our approach, and that was one way that we filtered down what we wanted to migrate and how. The second thing we did was, for those sites which were primarily content-only sites, we used third-party tools. We migrated those up to the cloud, and then we let the owner, make the look and feel type changes once we got to the other side. The last piece is for our major function portals, our HR site, our finance site, our library site, and so on, our corporate communication site. We actually took that opportunity to re-envision them for the cloud, because the way you did customizations on-prem with full trust code, partially trusted code back when it existed, those things just didn't exist in the cloud. And so as you're thinking about those major function sites, I would encourage you to look at the SharePoint framework and all the new hotness that exists there, hub sites and all the hotness that's there, because it could be that there's a much better way to do it going forward. So that's the generic answer. I am here for as long as you want me, so let's take that up a little bit further. So with that, thank you to everyone for attending. We hope this was a good session for you. We'll be present here for a little bit longer. And also, several of us have sessions in the next couple of days. So if you want to come to those sessions, go for a deep dive like in adoption and what have you, then we'd love to see you. So thank you again for coming.